welcome to my channel. So we are in the middle of the property finder Flutter application using Node.js and PostgreSQL. Okay, so we already completed the login and profile creation part in our Flutter application. Okay, so now we are going to create our business owner homepage, because first of all we need to listing our product, sorry, not product, rooms. After that we are going to work on our customer side, where we are going to see all the listings and we can see the details, and after that we can simply book it. Okay, also we need to focus on the search part also. If you are not watching the API creation and email OTP login part and the profile creation part for the owner and the customers, just go through the previous video. Video link will be there in the description, so go through that video and just follow the video so that you can get the idea of what we are doing in this application. Okay, so now as we already see in the last video, we are in the pending screen. Okay, so after pending screen we need to navigate user in the particular screen. Like if it is an owner, we need to navigate owner to the owner homepage. If it is a customer, we need to navigate user to the customer screen. Okay, now how we can decide that how we can navigate user to what page? So for that, let's do one thing. Let's create one first controller. Okay, that controller will be an user controller. From that controller we are going to fetch the user detail. Okay, if you already noticed in our user controller there is a get user by ID. Okay, as you see here, this is our one API that we created right in our API section, if you remember. So from that we are going to check whether that user is already logged in or not, or that user has the token or not. Okay, so we will fetch the user by ID. If the user role and token is available, based on the token based on the role, we will navigate user to the respected page. Okay, so first we need to create one controller. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's create one controller first. Okay, why we need token? Because if you know, if you see in the user details, get fetch user details, here we are checking the token, right? Because to check whether to check this user details by user ID, we need a token, right? And we store the token when we verify our not verify, I think we created the token. Yeah, when we verify the data, then we store the token, right? So from here we are getting the token from our shared preference. Okay. Okay, so whenever we create the profile, if you remember, first of all our profile status is 1. Okay, now after updating the profile status by the admin, our profile status will be changed. Okay, so whenever we get the profile user details from this API, then here we get the latest profile details, right? So after getting the latest profile details or updated details of the user, now we need to store the new fresh data in our shared preference, in our user data, if you remember. Okay, so here we need to update our previous user local data to fresh one. Okay, so our user controller is done. Now go to our main main main.dirt. Now here uh, we need our user controller here to check the uh, user data. Okay, to check the user data, because we need to check the new fresh data, right? We can't check the old data that we stored in our shared preference. Okay, so for that, uh, user controller okay, now let's create one function to initialize our screen, right? Because we need to initialize our screen, because we can't navigate user to directly to the role selection screen, right? So for that, Okay, so from pending screen, now it is navigate to the owner home screen. If you remember, we create our profile for our owner. Okay, now it is simply navigate to the owner. Okay, now it will not display the pending screen for the owner. Okay, so we did that part. Now in the next we are going to create our owner home page. So it will be, there will be a navigation drawer. Okay, with some nav item, one login logout button, and one profile in the nav bar. Also in the nav bar, from clicking on the particular nav item, it will navigate to that screen, and we are going to create two more screen here. One is for listing all the properties for that owner, and one is for create the enter or create the listing part. Okay, we need to enter the property in the application, right? Owner need to enter the property, so we are going to create those two pages with the drawer part. Okay, let's just do one thing. As you know, design part is too lengthy, so I will fast forward the video and I will do the design part. Okay, then I will explain you what is going on. So we created this controller. It is controller like, if you are familiar with the Android, if you know, in the drawer section in Android, we created one menu section, right, where we list out all the menus item. Okay, also in our navigation, we by default we take one selected. Okay, so this is like similar. Here we navigate all the for navigation drawer, there are some items that we need to display, right? So this is we create one menu where we list out all the items that we are going to create, and then we are by default selected menu, a property will be selected by default. Okay, and then after that, if you have selected, based on the selection, controller will display the screen based on that. Okay, so that is the reason we created this owner controller. Okay, as you see here, by default, as we already see our controller, owner controller, by default it is selected property. So when it is selected as a property listing, as you see here, property screen is so. If we navigate to the bookings, it is showing bookings. Okay, so now we need to display all the bookings here in the property screen. Also there is a floating button. Whenever we click on it, we will navigate to the add property screen. Okay, now let's first do the add property screen, then we are going to list out all the screen here. Okay, no, just do one thing. First of all, we create our own property listing screen, then we are going to create our add property screen. Okay, okay, for property, if you notice, this is the response after we adding one property, right? So for this JSON response, we need to create one model, right? Because we need to store this data, right? So and in this format also we are getting the responses in our all properties list for the owner. Okay, so this is the way we are getting the responses. Like if you see, there is one property section, okay, and there is one list of the facilities. Okay, based on the IDs we are getting the list of the facilities. Also there is one array or list for the images, right? So we need to create the model for this response. Also we need one table. If you remember, for these facilities we are getting this ID and name, right? So this is also we are getting from one table. This is also one property property types. Okay, not facility. We are for property types, if you remember, for property types we are getting ID, right? ID and name. And for those also we are creating one, like APIs, right? So if you remember, in property controller, if you remember, we create one this one, get all property types. For this also we create one APIs here, right? And we are getting the responses, ID and name. Also we need the model for those also. So if you see here, in our property model we created the model here. If you see it is a ID, it is an integer, it is also an integer. Property ID type is also integer. This is name, this is description, available for, cutlery, lat long, everything is here. For images, if you see, there is one list. Okay, now also there is okay, this is not the response. Just do one thing. Okay, this is the response. Okay, this is the response I am talking about. So here we are displaying basically this response. We are creating the model for this response. Okay, not the create property response. Okay, if you see here, inside the properties, this is one, inside this array we are getting all the data, whatever the properties that that owner have, we are displaying here. Okay, if you see, this is our response. Okay, so this is our model. Also facility has also list. If you see here, this is the facility, it is also list. Okay, so there is we already get the facility model, if you remember. Okay, this is our property model. Okay, also we created one model for our property types model. This is similar as faculty, just change the name to property type. Okay, so these two model that we created for creating our properties. Okay, or our also we list out all the properties, we need this to model. Okay, now coming back to our code. Okay, now let's close all this. Okay, go to our property listing screen. Okay, now before adding the property, I am thinking what should I do first. Do I need to do the listing part or adding part? Okay, before that, just do one thing. First of all, just create the controller. Okay, controller for our fetch the property type, fetch all the properties. Okay, and also we need the controller for fetch all data, add property also. We just first of all do one thing. First of all, just create our property controller. Okay, after that we are going to focus on our property listing screen. Okay, just quickly create our controller. Okay. Okay, property controller is done successfully. Here we created the fetch location also, and this is for adding the property. Just check the endpoint. Okay, fetch all data. This is the fetch facility. Property type, fetch all properties, fetch properties. Okay, now now everything is good. Now go to our listing page. Okay, here just do one thing. Okay, here basically, as we know from the response, if you see from the response, we are getting the property type ID. Okay, we are not getting the property type name. So from the property types, we based on that ID we are getting the property name. Okay, like from 1 there will be PG, from 2 there will be rent. Okay, based on that. Okay, now return. Okay, so for this owner there is no property, so it is showing as no property available, create one. Okay, so if I click on it, okay, it will navigate to the add new property screen. Okay, so it is working fine. I don't know why image is not showing here, I will check on it. Okay, so now just create add property function, add property. Here we are going to create one from, and we need to call the add property from our property controller. Okay, let's just create the add new property screen. If as you already notice, we created the property listings screen. You will see the view of the properties listing after we add one property from our add property screen. Okay, okay, let's create the add property screen here. Okay. emulator error, so that's why I am not able to get the location. So I wipe the data and then I again run the application. So now it is working. So as you see, we can select the first facility from the filters chip. Okay, then add the room number of rooms, suppose 5, square feet is suppose 900. Okay, now let's try to submit the listing. Okay, as you see, property added successfully. If you see here, also we get the success button. Okay, now if we go back and see, okay, why it is not showing? Okay, okay, it is showing, but the image is not displaying. Why? Image is not showing. Also there are one problem in the property listing. If you see here I add the location. I'm not able to get the images. Why? Here also I'm not getting the images. Here also not I'm getting the images. Let me check. Is my images upload here? Okay, it is uploaded. Why I'm not getting the images? Let me just try. But anyway, we get the listing. Also, we successfully add the data. Let me check the why I am not able to get the images. Okay. Okay, I'm getting the images as you see here. Okay, I'm getting the image here because I actually added images here. Okay, just remove that. That's why I'm told you that check the endpoint. Okay, so our property is done successfully. Next video we are going to check for the customer homepage. Okay, we are going to check all the listings and we are going to see the details page. Okay, that's it for the owner listing and add property page. Okay, now next video we are going to see the customer home page. Okay, thank you.